Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Hi guys, welcome once again to Gamer Overlord, and finally, nearly after a decade of development, Cyberpunk 2077 is out. Cyberpunk was first announced way back in 2012 and it has been a long journey ever since for CD Projekt. CD Projekt of course have the habit of offering games free of digital rights management, that is the DRM, because they think downloadable content should be kept as an industry standard. Well said and good, Cyberpunk was being delayed over time for enriching its content and solving its bugs and glitches. Despite the recurring bugs driving it to conflict, Cyberpunk is a game of vast ambition. Before further watching this video, I do request you to please like, share and subscribe so that you stay updated.
On the pavement. And in Pacifica, well, Pacifica is still Pacifica. This has been your man, Stan!
Now coming to the minimum system requirements, you need at least an Intel Core i5-3570K or an FX 8310 processor with 8GB of RAM and an AMD 4GB RX 470 or an NVIDIA 3GB GTX 780 card. The recommended requirements are Intel Core i7-4790 or a Ryzen 3200G processor with 12GB of RAM and at least a 6GB NVIDIA GTX 1060 or a 6GB GTX 1660 Super card. So making myself and everything else clear, let's get started.
Oh, motherfucker. Everything chill, mano? Some bastard tried to mug me.
Starting with the campaign, Cyberpunk's emphasis is on immersing upon a well-polished tabletop fantasy. It has a pretty extensive plot including a long prologue, and therefore I had to borrow some of the gameplays from other platforms as well. CD Projekt has done a ton of work to bring out the world of the Night City. The cyberpunk vibe is built aesthetically wonderful. Night City is built to frequently explore, like people to talk to, vendors, food, interactions, side quests, side quests, and a lot of traditional AI world to see. You play as V, a customizable character starting with a choice between 3 life paths that dictate your background and what happens to you in the first 4 or 5 hours of the game, as well as providing you with occasional life path specific dialogue prompts throughout. Also, it will literally take you 6 hours of gameplay to see the logo splash on your screen for the first time, which means it is vast as hell. Overall, as V, you are a mercenary who is in search of a computer chip, which is basically the key to immortality. Night City is controlled by corporations and unassailed by the laws of both country and state. It sees conflict from rampant gang wars and its ruling entities contending for dominance.
Looks like I was right. Rat got your tongue?
You know, fuck all about me.
Truth hurts, huh? Just watch your tone. I'm not a patient man.
Come on, Stance. Give us a break, huh? You lock us up, let's just jerk off till trial. And then what? Worst case, we get some months. Hell, standing room only nowadays in El Bote. So, they'll probably be out early.
Are these the thieves? Ordinary street trash.
Got him in custody, Mr. Fujioka. We'll be taking him now.
It's a waste of effort. I have no time to testify or play at an investigation.
Suggesting we let him go, sir?
I suggest you toss them in the sea. Cuff legs broken so this trash doesn't float.
You heard him.
Fuck.
Coming to the graphics, Cyberpunk could easily be one of the most visually engaging games anyone could have ever played. It creates a new generation which makes you realize those 7 years were worth waiting. The graphical settings are cleverly customized for different rigs, especially those who wants to play in medium or high settings. The high settings allow players to seamlessly enter the night city, with the visual appearance serving as a medium for gameplay to be absorbed by the player. But I still recommend most of the players to play at medium settings, which will allow them how they want the game to look. The frame rates are highly complex for 4K, as even the mighty RTX 3090 can barely. For comfortable 1080p, the high textures are constant and you need at most 6GB 1660 Super for proper utilization of the gameplay with ray tracing disabled. Even for consoles like the PS4, max you can get is 30 FPS due to suspected inferior hardware. Well, overall at times the game may look smudgy if you enable film grain, depth of field, motion blur, lens flare and chromatic aberration all at once. To avoid this, probably some of these settings should be turned off to receive improved clarity. An extra update was released to fix issues regarding frame rate stuttering, especially for AMD CPUs, because many players complained of the game crashing when they just stepped into the open world. While the update for frame rates and pre-release content was about 12 to 13 hours late after the game's release, CD Projekt weren't ready for any excuses. They have made many of the players feel that the game still had some finishing job to be done and were under already too much pressure to get it released on the specified date. The frame rate issues for 1080p and 1440p resolutions do indicate that people aren't satisfied with the game's overall graphics settings, where even the show-offs are not able to run at desired frame rates. All I want to indicate is that Cyberpunk had a bit of work undone and many would have preferred to fix the issues relating to frame rates, especially for the Ryzen CPUs. Many who set a millennial budget to run Cyberpunk at max 1080p and 1440p settings are left disgusted with these glitches, and I hope it is fixed as soon as possible. But overall, visually I found Cyberpunk quite appealing enough for not reducing the points for these glitches, and therefore I give the game the graphics score of 9 on 10.
Closing in on the axis.
Slide in. Sweet icebreaker. Foreign, right? Just wonder if we know anyone who could switch the subnet protocol.
Hilarious.
Coming to the customization part, it's one of those unique games where you can customize the character itself. I mean, that's rare and I was used to it because I can relate it with the Far Cry games. We can be customized with a variety of possible features, choose body types, face cuts and voice separately. For the campaign, you don't choose like I want to be a male or a female character. You choose your body type and that gives the freedom to be any character you want. The mix and matching of the hairstyles, tattoos and beards is stylish and gels well according to the player's taste. Coming to the skill sets, initially you have around 10 to 11 skills you can acquire which will stay with you until the prologue of the game. Later the skill presets change with respect to the way you progress in each life path and also with the rewards and achievements of the quests. The skill tree and leveling up is fine. You level up and dump points into body intelligence is technically cool for stealth stuff. I appreciate the level of vast choices you have once you are a fully aware cybernetic warrior. Each tree rewards you in a more significant manner if you invest it for a long time. The customization earns a score 9.5 on 10. Coming to sound, Cyberpunk has a very engaging soundtrack, especially the theme music, which will keep you charged for the entire campaign length. One of the major bugs which was a thorn for the Cyberpunk gamers was the audio crackling error. When this error starts to rear its ugly head, it becomes increasingly hard to enjoy the game with audio being so distorted. Luckily, they brought out a distorted sound and voiceover fix soon after 12 hours of the game's release and all seems perfect now. Some of the additional steps to be followed along with the fix are reloading your saved game, changing of USB ports, restarting the game and having a check for updated audio drop. With an extensive open world that Cyberpunk has, the soundtrack and voice acting matters the most. The cybernetic environment and the character customs enable for a more designed soundtrack, especially for the characters, cars, guns, swords, in-game environment, etc. The gunshots, sword fighting and explosions are crystal clear with realistic touch, which can be enabled if you have Dolby Atmos for sure. I give sound a score of 8.5 on 10. Now coming to gameplay and mechanics, the combat is purely first-person shooting and a bit of melee. The melee is like any other FPS, just kind of okay, but they have added a bit of tweaks and level up into it. Stealth can be more compelling. It's like Deus Ex kind of hacking but amped up thanks to hyper-connected setting, although not all enemy encounters feel like as tightly designed for stealth possibilities as I would hope. The amount of opportunities in the environment often make up for that. Now, as much as I don't think the stealth is perfect or flawless or elegant by any means, the way they sell it in this futuristic world is interesting and fun. Then comes first-person shooting, and I'm usually pretty skeptical of FPS in games that are more structured like an RPG, but it's good here. 8 years of work has well paid off. ADS is snappy, the guns are aggressive and responsive with moderate recoil, and ample destruction in the environment to cause for. Now coming to the driving part, CD Projekt has never really done car driving games and seems like they have nailed it. I just love the driving where cars are a bit bouncy and floaty when you berserk out your way and hit stuff, but otherwise they are fast and handling is pretty good, with drifting and skidding being arcadey enough. Design wise, the cars and trucks look the best as far as all open world games that I have played so far. RPG stuff, they are kind of 50-50 and didn't hook me much. I didn't find myself getting addicted to it. There is a lot of loot with good amount of crafting and grinding, which is a good engaging part of the game. I give gameplay and mechanics an overall score of 9.5 on 10. Coming to the thrill quotient, the actual RPG systems themselves sounds blasphemous, but I honestly prefer the moment-to-moment stuff more. I advise you not to be more concerned about the game length because it is just you and the world. The quests, interactions won't actually mislead you, but if you are genuinely interested only in the campaign, you can prefer to play that if you stick to the track. Now I know there are issues, but these glitches don't bother me too much as they don't break the game or get you stuck anywhere or erase your save or anything like that. But some people are way more annoyed with the way the game got delayed so much, and still there are being issues. There are big issues that are yet to be addressed. You know what I mean. You should know this game can be really messy. I have seen characters holding invisible guns, clip through walls, completely disappear, weird graphical bugs, you name it. So actually, instead of apologizing, CD Projekt should genuinely patch up these issues and understand that these things actually matter.
Don't you dare.
The final verdict for Cyberpunk is amazing. Simply amazing. This RPG has set a new standard for every open world game henceforth to follow its footsteps. The open world adventure crafted by CD Projekt Red is a testament to what RPGs can be and what other developers with similar ambitions should aspire to create. Overall, I hope the game will be honed for its issues so that CD Projekt can hold their heads high for their efforts. I give Cyberpunk 2077 overall a score of 9 on 10. So that's it from the video, guys. Do feel free to suggest new video suggestions in the comment section. See you in the next review.